What's up guys, Romsicle here, and today we're reviewing the Mojo68. Now this review is going to be a little weird one because when you buy the Mojo68 at the current moment, you're getting switches, keycaps, and it's fully assembled. But Melgeek only sent me the bare bones kit and it came disassembled, so in this video I'm going to show you guys from the bottom up what this keyboard's all about, how it sounds, and then whether you should buy it or not. So let's go. So this is the case of the Mojo68, a nice plastic, transparent, and sturdy case. The bottom is pretty simple with the way that it's built, and you can see the angle of the keyboard here, and on the top case, you can also see where the rubber gaskets are going to be when this keyboard is fully assembled. There's nothing too crazy about the design, but I do find the rounded corners to be aesthetically pleasing. Now the second piece of the keyboard is pretty wild because it's this huge dense piece of silicone used to dampen the keyboard and is cut exactly to proportion to fit the bottom case. The cutouts are there to make room for the hot swap Gateron sockets on the bottom of the PCB, and you also have some rubber caps to put on the corners for alignment, and it also helps with dampening the keyboard as well. And this is the PCB, and what I love about Melgeek PCBs is that the default layout is printed directly so you know exactly the purpose of each socket. We've got hot swappable south facing sockets and surface mounted RGB LEDs. We have an LED indicator on the left, a little note that tells you to get more keyboards on the right, and then on the back side we have our USB-C port and tactile switch attached with the corresponding modes. As for the plate, it's a matte black aluminum plate that's curved on the edges, and we also have a piece of pour-on foam that goes in between the plate and the PCB to dampen the sound even more. And finally, with the top case, you have a couple rubber gaskets that go neatly into their spots that clamp down onto the plate. And building this keyboard is pretty much the same as any other keyboard, using the switches to keep the plate and PCB together, but you'll be fine since this keyboard comes pre-assembled and you don't have to deal with this. Also, this keyboard comes with plate mount stabilizers, which isn't ideal, but the ones included with the board have no wiggle room when it's on the plate, and when lubed, they sound pretty good, so I'm okay with that. Now you might be wondering how the gasket mount works on this keyboard. When the keyboard is closed, the foam is actually resting on the bottom case while the top rubber mounts rest on the top of the plate, and there's actually not that much flex to it despite the gasket foam. And once everything is done, we can close up the case and check this out. This is the monster Mojo68 with GMK blue samurai keycaps, and it looks amazing, so let's listen to the sound test. I gotta say, this keyboard sounds pretty damn good with just loop stabilizers and looped switches. One thing to note about this keyboard is that if you want to disassemble the case, you're gonna have to be really patient. Because this keyboard is made out of plastic and uses a latch system on multiple points, if you pull too hard, the plastic might crack. So use a bunch of thin guitar picks to slowly wedge the top case back out, and you should be fine. You'd rather go slow than break the keyboard you just bought. I literally just did it only once and I never want to do it ever again. It's way too stressful. So now let's talk about the physical features that I didn't get to try out. When buying the Mojo68, you get to choose from select Gateron switches or get some TTC switches at an extra cost. You're also getting double shot ABS keycaps in the MG profile, or you're getting PBT keycaps if you got the plastic design. Obviously I can't say much about the keycaps because I wasn't sent them, so watch some other reviews to get a good look of the keycaps. So this keyboard has two versions. You have wired mode and tri mode. Wired mode gives you QMK and VIA compatibility, while the tri mode can only use KB Tools, which is Melgeek's own proprietary software for customizability. I just think it's a bummer that the keyboard with full-on wireless connectivity flexibility doesn't have the flexibility to use QMK or VIA, but it's not really a deal breaker because they practically do the exact same thing, with KB Tools doing a little better when it comes to custom lighting profiles. But for me, I prefer not to have a lot of proprietary software on my computer, so I would definitely go with the QMK route, and I would suggest getting the wired version if wireless connectivity is not a priority for you. It's on Kickstarter right now at a discounted price with a bunch of colors to choose from. It ranges from $170 to $200, not including shipping, but after you include shipping, it's going to cost around $200 to $230 to most countries. Not too bad of a price point for what you're getting, and I would definitely buy it with my own money if I could. So far, my experience with the Mojo68 has been awesome, and that's no surprise to me because this isn't my first time using Melgeek's products. I recently built a Mojo60 as my reference board, and the design on that and the build quality of that is absolutely amazing, and so is the Mojo68. RGB is nice and bright, customizability is all there, and the sound is awesome right out of the box without any modifications needed. And the overall design is just really unique with a transparent look and multiple colors to choose from, and you're also getting a gasket mount feature for a pretty decent price. Like I said before, I would highly suggest getting the wired version of the Mojo68 because it has QMK and VIA compatibility, and that's my preference for customizability. But either way, whether you're an enthusiast or a newcomer coming to mechanical keyboards and wanting a nice piece of equipment for your computer, you can't go wrong with either of the two. And at this point, I think Melgeek should actually offer a bare bones kit because nobody wants to have excess switches and excess keycaps that they're not going to use. Just let us buy the keyboard itself, put our own switches, own keycaps in, and we're going to have a great time. But that's just me. But doesn't this keyboard look like the best keyboard for coding? Because this video is sponsored by DataCamp. DataCamp is an online learning platform that helps you build data and coding skills using interactive courses and hands-on exercises. You can learn how to code in Python, SQL, and even R. You can learn visually through the videos or even go through their transcripts if you prefer learning through reading. And with practice sessions after each lesson, the knowledge is immediately being applied afterwards for the best learning experience. Since everything is done through the browser, you can even do coding exercises on your phone, and that is just awesome. There's so many jobs in the market that are all about coding and data, so you should really get on this free learning opportunity with every first chapter of every course being free. And for $25 a month, you can get unlimited access to all their classes, and there's even a 63% discount going on right now, so use my link in the description down below to check it out. But that's been it. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about the keyboard and whether it's worth the money or not. I'll see you guys later. Peace.